Welcome back to the Russell D. McLean channel, and today we're going to dive straight into the 7 big mistakes that entrepreneurs make that keeps them from the money. Now, I want you to pay close attention. These are all writer-downers, right? All writer-downers. And the topic that we're diving into is delayed gratification. And these are the 7 big mistakes that you make when you don't observe this principle. All right, let's get into number 1. Okay, overlooking long-term vision. Focusing solely on short-term gains can lead entrepreneurs to lose sight of their long-term goals and vision for their business. Now, the reason why I wanted to tackle this topic is because a lot of us, we have big aspirations for our businesses, and we have big plans to do these great launches, and we don't understand the things that we must sacrifice in order to do so. We shouldn't look at these expenses as things that we must spend our money on. We should always look at them as investments. And the reason why I say that is because making an investment has a long-term impact on your business and your future, especially a wise one. When we put ourselves in situations when we're distracted about short-term gains and things and comforts that we can have right now, opposed to sacrificing that to invest in something that can benefit us well into the future, we lose every time. And I wanted to define what actual delayed gratification means and what that looks like for us. It simply means sacrificing something of a lower nature in order to achieve something of a higher nature. That could be for you to put together a great ad campaign to launch your first offer for your business, right? That's already proven because we talked in previous videos how we can do that. So if you want to find out how you can actually get yourself to the point where you have an irresistible offer, go back and check out all of the previous videos before this 10th video, right? Anyway, so when we actually give up something that actually could give us pleasure right now in the moment, and we sacrifice that in exchange for something that will benefit us long term down the road, it will just make our lives much easier. We have to keep a long-term vision when we're working right now, right? Now, you always hear me talk about how success loves speed, how we need to take massive action, and we need to do it quickly, right? Because wealth is measured in speed, right? And though I'm just beginning the journey, right, to become a millionaire, right, and taking you guys on it with me, I yield to the wisdom of people who are far more successful than I am, who's already done it. And the way that they explain it is my mentor, Myron Golden, namely, wealth is measured in time. So we must acquire the wealth more quickly. And the fastest way we can do that is by delaying gratification, by having a long-term vision. Because when we think short-term, we're going to make short-term decisions that are based on our emotions and how we want to feel right now. And what we end up doing is we end up sacrificing those long-term benefits for short-term pleasures, which is never a good idea. On to number 2. Ignoring investments in growth. Instead of reinvesting profits into business growth, entrepreneurs who prioritize immediate rewards may miss out on opportunities to scale and expand. And I really want to speak to all of my media buyers, right? Or anyone that is looking to hire the right media buyer for your business. Because as I said before, you're going to want to implement both an organic strategy and a paid advertising strategy, right? One does not it doesn't negate the other. They complement one another. So whenever someone tells you that advertising is dead, don't really take that with a grain of salt, because what they might be saying is advertising that doesn't have the intention to target the right avatar in a way that is meaningful to them is dead, right? So advertising without the purpose of adding high levels of value to the right audience, that is dead, right? But we absolutely want to be doing that. And if you are taking your money, buying those cigarettes, buying those drinks, buying that marijuana, doing the DoorDash takeouts, or taking vacations, you won't be willing to invest the money in your advertising spend. This is very pivotal. And I know a lot of us may have natural resistance when it comes to investing in advertising. But let me tell you this. If you can get yourself to the point where you're spending $10,000 a month on ads to gain a $20,000, $30,000, or $40,000 result, it will be a game changer for you and your business. And when you are making more revenue as a result of your discipline, being able to delay gratification and taking that money, right, and using it as an advertising allotment, right, allocating that money for ads, by doing that, you'll be able to generate more revenue and you'll be able to create more profits, which will allow you to serve your clients, customers, or students at a higher level, right? Because it's going to cost you in the long run if you don't prioritize your finances this way. You need to invest in your business, right? And even outside of your ad costs, you may have a fixed asset that you may need to invest in your business. Let's just say if you're running an online business and you need, say, like a device that has a lot of memory, right? And you're looking at it and say, man, I really wanted to take this vacation to Mexico, but if I get this MacBook, I don't know. I won't be able to take that vacation. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you plan on starting a successful business, you might want to get the MacBook because that's going to be, in long term, the better investment. You need to be willing to invest in your growth. You will stunt your growth, which will keep you from the money. On to number 3. Neglecting strategic planning. Rushing decisions without careful planning can result in costly mistakes and missed opportunities for sustainable growth. When you think short term and you're doing things that feel good, right? As Myron Golden says, right? And this is biblical principles, right? And Solomon talks about this, right? When he talks about observing the ant, when he talks about rock badgers and spiders and locusts, observing their behaviors and patterns can absolutely benefit you, right? Because the point is you want to make better decisions moving forward. Because when you don't plan well, you plan to fail. And the reason why I spoke on Solomon and him speaking of these creatures, the ant namely, why do I say that? Because the ant, when things are positive, will think negative. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but just think about it. When you have money going in, let's just say you get your discipline dialed in and you're delaying gratification and you're cutting out unnecessary expenses and you're actually taking that money and wisely investing it, and your business is becoming fruitful and you're bringing in a lot of revenue, which creates a lot of profits. You need to think about when times are going to be bad, right? When those situations, and they will, because we talk about how disruption will always follow your attention, and that goes for all of us. So you want to be wisely planning. And when things are negative, you want to be thinking positively. Why? Because it allows you to last through a learning curve. It allows you to make more objective decisions rather than emotional ones, which will allow you to be able to execute on wise, proven strategies. You need to be strategic, because a lot of times when we move on an instant instinct or impulse, we make rash decisions and it comes back to haunt us later, right? Remember the easy hard principle, right? If we choose to do what's easy up front based on our emotions and we don't plan strategically, we're going to have it hard on the back end. But if we do the things that are difficult, right, and we move more wisely, objectively, and strategically, we're going to have it easier on the back end. That's exactly why I say think positive when things are negative and think negative when things are positive. We always want to be strategically in alignment with what's going to serve our customers, clients, and students, and our businesses, most importantly, because if that's not being served well, we won't be able to serve them. Remember, we can't pour from an empty cup. So we definitely want to be in strategic alignment when it comes to our business. Moving on to number 4, lacking resilience. Entrepreneurs who expect instant success may struggle to persevere through challenges and setbacks, lacking the resilience needed to weather storms in the business world. Now, we just spoke about the ant, right? The ant thinks positive when things are negative. You need to take on the trait of the ant. You need to be thinking positive when things are negative. You have to. The reason why is because, like I said before, disruption will always follow your intention. There will always be something that shows up that you didn't plan for, right? That will actually come in and disrupt the processes that you're doing. But that doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path. So you shouldn't be discouraged and give up. So what should you do? You should absolutely put yourself in a mindset to look forward to and to actually plan for things that could potentially happen that could disrupt the processes that you put in place. And what that's going to do is that's going to actually give you the resilience. It's going to give you the resourcefulness that you need to push through in those times of difficulty and actually allow you to be a key person of influence in your business and in your business community. It is absolutely a blessing when you can learn to see the silver lining in every cloud. You will become more agile, more adaptive, more objective, and I'm telling you, you're going to be more clear-headed as a result. And you're going to be able to actually stand firm and to make wise decisions and not emotional choices. And why do I say emotional choices versus wise decisions? Because when you're making choices, it means you're double-minded. You haven't settled on something that is final and cut off the possibility for anything else. That means you're wishy-washy. One minute you're telling your team to do this, next minute you're telling your team to do that, and it actually sows confusion into your business, which gives a poor results for your customers, clients, or students. You don't want to do that. You want to be resilient in the face of perceived difficulty, because this is how I choose to see it, and this could be helpful if you try it this way. Everything is a win if you embrace it as a learning experience. Because when these disruptions show up in our businesses, right, to disrupt our intentions, and it actually will, that's an opportunity to learn. And it doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path. It usually means that you're on the right path and you're getting closer. Remember when you were a kid, or remember when your children were small and they're first learning how to walk and take their steps, right? They actually take the first steps and then they stumble, then they take another step and then they stumble again. And then on the third try, they actually take 3 steps. Then on the 4th try, they're excited, but what happens? They stumble again, which is a picture of that disruption that shows up. But what happens is if they're able to think back, well, just before that, I actually did a few steps. Well, what if I actually slow down? Right? And I'm not saying that a child is making these complex decisions, but at a fundamental level in their being, they are picking up. Their bodies are coming into an awareness. And then what happens when they get up, or you encourage them to get up, they take a few more steps, right? And then what happens? More confidence builds, and then they take more steps. That's the same way with any of us, right? Everything is a microcosm of everything else. Right? That's just the way it is. Everything is connected in some ways if we can just simply open our minds. So when something is negative that we're experiencing when we're trying to move forward in our business processes, we can say, wait a minute, you know what? I remember when I was riding a bike that day and I was doing pretty well, and then I just, for some reason, just went through a streak where it just wasn't working out. Then I actually recall something that I did that actually helped me move forward. And when I put myself back in that mindset, I was riding smoothly again. That's the same thing that can happen for you in your business, right? There's always some experience that we can extrapolate from, right? Be it a story from a person who has success in a similar field that we're in, right? Or we can actually relate it back to something that seems seemingly unrelatable, but we still can extrapolate a mindset from that, or a principle, right? Like I said, everything is a microcosm of something else. So all we have to do is put ourselves in that right mindset and we can move forward. Okay, guys, moving on to number 5. Now, guys, this right here is a serious one. You should be writing all of these down. Underestimating market dynamics. Failing to invest time in understanding market trends and consumer behavior can lead to poor strategic decisions and loss of competitive edge. This is why, guys, when you are in a microwave mindset where you need everything to happen fast, instead of slowing down and learning from the information that comes in. Because a lot of times what happens is we're accumulating a lot of knowledge and we're doing things that work, but we might not yet be in a space to really understand it. That's why measuring data and analytics is so important, guys, right? Feedback is the breakfast of champions. Remember I said that. When we're moving too fast because things are happening the way we like it, right? Thinking positive when things are positive, right? When we should be thinking negative when things are positive. Why? Because when a window of opportunity that's going well happens, if we don't properly measure it, we may not be able to repeat that at will. So we want to be always measuring and analyzing the data that we're receiving from the interactions in our business between us and our customers and our systems and how everything works together. We need to gain a proper understanding. So measurement is the way to go. So we have to delay the gratification of getting quick results. We have to slow down and really measure things. I know it may feel good once you get it going and the money is coming in, but if you really don't understand what is really working well and how it's working, you may not be able to repeat that in the future, and which you'll experience that roller coaster like pattern within your business, and you don't want to do that. Trust me, when I was a tattoo artist, that was the worst thing, right? And if anybody out there that may be a tattoo artist watching this or may have tattooed in the past, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Or anybody that's in the service-based business. Maybe you're a barber or a cosmetologist, and you've had that roller coaster-like experience. But once you actually started measuring things and you started knowing your numbers, right? And you actually understood the law of averages and how it applies to your business, and you were able to create a system around it that created more predictability in your business and reliability, that was a game changer for you. And that is exactly why you need to be measuring things. You need to understand the dynamics of these things because things will fluctuate. Now, the underlying principles, the evergreen principles stay the same. But everything is advancing so quickly now in today's market that we are actually taking in things and we're experiencing things on a different level and in different ways. And if you're not adapting your business and constantly disrupting your business to do that, right, so you can better connect with your clients, customers, and students, you're going to lose a lot of traction in your business and you're going to have all of this going on, and that's no fun, right? So we need to understand that things are dynamic and we need to be prepared for it, right? So we need to delay that gratification on just simply riding high and take the time to measure things, right? And properly make adjustments. All right, moving on to number 6. Ignoring personal development. Neglecting personal growth and skill development in favor of immediate gratification can hinder an entrepreneur's ability to adapt and innovate in an ever-evolving business landscape. Now, you know I don't like the word evolving for personal reasons because I'm a believer in God, right? But let's just swap that out with developing, right? The business landscape is always developing. And I just spoke to that in number 5, talking about understanding the dynamics and trends in business and how people are consuming things in different ways and how we need to align our messaging and our experiences with that to give them the most value. Before we can get there, we have to develop ourselves. We have to become the type of person that can adapt in these ways. Because if we don't adapt, the ability to delay the gratification of the experiences that we've come to know and get comfortable with, if we become complacent in any way, then we won't be able to sustain ourselves in a new market climate. We need to continue and always be becoming better, wiser, sharper, faster even in how we do business. Because think about it, technology is moving so fast that we have to be sharp as well. We have to constantly be learning. And I'm not saying you're going to be a one man or one business, one man or one woman show, right? You're going to have teams, but you need to be adapting and learning skills and developing yourself so that you can communicate more effectively with those who's in your business that are going to be doing the specialized work. You know, the things that they play at that you actually work at, the things that you hate doing, but you know is absolutely necessary to grow your business and move it forward and to give your customers, clients, or students the best experiences possible, right? You need to constantly be developing yourself, right? We talk about be, do, have, right? Be, do, have. We talk about that principle. We always need to be becoming more so that we can do more, so that our customers, students, and clients, and us and our businesses and our teams can have more, right? Because we can't pour from an empty cup. We need to always be ever increasing our abilities, right? Now on to number 7. And you know what I always say about number 7, guys. If you observe all 6 and you fail to do number 7, everything else will fall apart. So you need to observe all 7 of these mistakes so that you can properly avoid them and properly apply the best practices. Here we go. Compromising integrity. Prioritizing short-term gains over ethical practices and integrity can damage a business's reputation and long-term success, eroding trust with customers and stakeholders. Now, this is exactly why I say observe number 7 or everything else falls apart. Because if what you do lacks integrity, if it lacks transparency, if it lacks authenticity, nothing else matters, right? If you take love out of anything, guys, it falls apart. I don't care what you're doing. It's not sustainable. You need to absolutely love what you're doing, right? And you need to be able to love your actual customers, clients, or students, your stakeholders, your team members. You need to love all aspects of what you do and how you do it for it to actually leave a serious and true impact. You cannot compromise adding value for short-term gains, because everybody loses in that way, and especially you, because it takes a long time for you to build up an honorable reputation of integrity in the marketplace, but it can take seconds for you to lose that due to a bad reputation based on bad decisions that you made being selfish, right? So you need to make sure that you're doing things with integrity. Any of these things that I'm teaching you guys, right, that I'm sharing with you, that absolutely works. I'm not just regurgitating. These things have worked for me and it has been proven. And I'm actually allowing you guys to go on a journey to actually experience my growth. Why? Why am I doing that? Because I want people to understand that it is possible for them. If I would have actually kept the cameras off and did all of this stuff, waited till I got to 6, 7, 8 figures, then showed up in front of you guys would have been a lot less likely believing that you could do it too for yourselves. And I wanted you to see that I'm only a few steps ahead of you. I'm no different from you. I've struggled with things in the past. I've made poor decisions. I've learned lessons, and I'm actually using best practices now. That's why it's important for me to share that. But if I didn't change who I was into a better person that is more honorable, loving, respectful, and a person of integrity, none of this stuff will matter. So I want you to always move from a place of love. like I said, guys, love the people and use the money. And like Myron Golden says, what's even better is use the money to love the people. Do not put money first. And you know, as a believer, I pick God first. And if you're going to pick God first, you're putting love first. So that means you're going to love your brothers and sisters as you love yourself. Period. Right? So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. Please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, give us a thumbs up, guys, and actually leave a comment so we can see how this video served you and how we can improve and help you. And also share it with as many like-minded people as you possibly can, because you just might help somebody just like you. All right, guys, have a blessed one.